Now, once I collect the data, once I have a sample, we're going to talk about our sampling methods. Now, a sample should have the same characteristics, should be very similar to our population. Okay, but we're going to look at sampling methods. There's 5 cases that I'm going to be looking at. For example, simple random sampling. Okay, so looking at my sample, how am I going to choose them? Simple random sampling. Now, every member of the population, so everybody has an equal chance of being selected. I go to a school. I want to do a survey. I want to find out something about people in the school. Everybody has the same probability of being chosen. I'm just going to pick people randomly. So each member, like I said, each member of the population has an equal chance of being selected for the sample. That's what we call simple random sampling. Now, systematic and stratified, systematic is actually when I have a system. Let's say I have a school and I have 2,000 people there. So I'm like, oh man, 2,000 it's a lot of people. I don't want to do that many surveys. So I'm going to choose a sample. Okay, so I'm going to choose a sample. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to the principal and I'm gonna tell Mark, can you give me the names of your students in alphabetical order? All right, so I have a list. I have a list of students, and I'm gonna say, okay, going through this list, let me choose every 20th person. So from the list, I choose number 20, I choose number 40, I choose number 60, every 20th person. So I randomly, because I don't know these people, they're on the list, right? I randomly select a starting point, and then I keep on getting the nth place. We call it nth place or the data from my list. So notice how I come over and said, okay, every 20th, or what if I said every 30th, right? I come up with the system. So we call those systematic sampling. Now, stratified and clustered are very, very similar. So be careful what I'm about to say. Stratified and cluster, very, very similar samplings. Now, stratified is when you divide the population into subgroups. We usually call those little subgroups, we call this strata. So that's what we call this stratified. And then take a proportionate number from each stratum. So I'm gonna do the study, and I'm gonna choose, like there's the freshmen, there's the sophomore, there's the juniors, there's the seniors. So I separate every person in the population into little subgroups, right? Again, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors. But then I'm gonna say, all right, let me choose the same amount of people per group. So I want to do a study with including 40 people. My sample is going to include 40. So I'm going to choose 10 freshmen, 10 sophomores, 10 juniors, and 10 seniors. Notice how my population got separated into little stratas or little subgroups. And then from each group, I chose the same amount of people. Now, cluster sampling, I'm going to divide my population into subgroups. We call this clusters as well. And then randomly, I'm going to select some of the clusters. Let's say I do a study, right? And I go to a high school, and then I separate my people into freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. So I separate them into little subgroups. But then I'm like, I'm gonna choose 10 people, and then from a class, and then 10 more people from another class. So I was like, let's say I choose 10 freshmen and 10 seniors. I did not include my sophomores and my juniors, right? I just chose from different subgroups. So stratified sampling, I separate my population into subgroups, and then I choose the same amount per group. Now, cluster sampling, I separate them into subgroups, but then I select only some of the groups. You see the difference? Now, the last one, convenient sampling. This involves using results that are already there. Let's say a company calls me and they said, oh, we want to know how many people are interested into buying computers. We're running this software for computers and we want to know how many people are interested in this. So I would like to know. I could start calling people and asking, are you interested in buying a computer? Or I could go to a store and then go to the front and say, are you interested in buying a computer? Or I could go to a store, go to the electronics section. There's people there that are interested in buying computers. And then I ask them, are you interested in buying a computer? Right? The sample's there. Are you interested in buying this program? Maybe they're looking at it. Maybe I'm selling the product, this company that's selling the product. They want to know if people like it. And I see that somebody's looking at the product, right? A computer software. And then I'll go ask them, do you like this? Are you interested in buying this program? Well, yeah, they're looking at it. The results are already there. I mean, the sample's already there. So this is not really random, right? I didn't just choose anybody. I specifically went and chose people that were there. Let's take a look at some examples. So problem, this is my problem. A study is done to determine the average tuition that San Jose undergraduate students pay per semester. Each student in the following sample is asked to how much tuition he or she pay for the fall semester. Now, what is the type of the sampling in each case? So let's take a look. I have a sample of 100 undergraduate students in San Jose State. And then this is taken by organizing the students' names by classification. So I put them in subgroups, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And then I select 25 students from each. Okay, so think about it. I separated my population into subgroups, and then I chose the same amount per subgroup. Yeah, we're gonna call that stratified sampling. Now, let's say I have a random number generator is used to select a student from the alphabetical listing of all undergraduate students in the fall semester. Starting with that student, every 50th student is chosen till 75 students are included in the sample. Okay, so I came in and chose a person, any random person, right? But then after that person, every 50 person I would choose. And I do that until I collect 75 students from my sample. So I have a system, right? Every 50th student. So yeah, I would call that systematic. Now let's say a completely random student, a completely random method is used to select 75 students. So randomly chosen. Each undergraduate student in the fall semester has the same probability of being chosen at any stage of the sampling process. So everybody has the opportunity of being chosen, the same probability of being chosen. Yeah, this is what we call simple random. Example D, the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years are number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I separate my population into subgroups. A random number generator is used to pick two of those years. So for my 4 subgroups, I'm only going to choose 2. All students in those years are in the sample. Yeah, that is what we call clustered. Let's take a look at our last example. An administrative assistant is asked to stand in front of the library one Wednesday and to ask the first 100 undergraduate students he encounters what they pay for tuition the fall semester. Those 100 students are the sample. See how this person didn't have to do much? He just went to a place, just went to the library, and the first 100 people that passed, he asked them, how much did you pay for tuition? Right? They're doing a survey on how much tuition cost. See how the sample was already there. He didn't go and chose people from anywhere. He just went to a place where he already had the group, the sample there. He just chose people, but this surveyor didn't have to do much work. This is what we call convenience sampling. Okay, so for your homework, I'm gonna give you guys scenarios like these, and then you guys have to tell me which one it is.